Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, August 8th. Over the next few days, we will see a return of moisture to the Great Basin associated with the monsoon. Today, we will see isolated to scattered thunderstorms over southern and western Nevada. These will be a mix of wet and dry further north and probably faster moving with an area of low pressure off the west coast. Heat also will return to the northern areas of the Great Basin the next couple of days, with temperatures well above normal and even near record highs for the time of year. So very hot and dry conditions in Idaho and moisture returning from the south. By Tuesday and Wednesday is where we'll see a better push of moisture. So we will see wetter thunderstorms pushing north into Nevada, possibly a few isolated storms up in the Payette on Tuesday, but it's really Wednesday where we have that greater push of moisture, so we will see thunderstorms returning to Idaho. These thunderstorms on the northern and western side will be a mix of wet and dry, but we probably will see a little bit better moisture up in Idaho than we saw with this last push, so we will certainly see some higher humidity and at least some scattered showers. Over the last 24 hours, no lightning across the Great Basin, just a few isolated showers over far southern and far western Nevada. Great Basin fire activity yesterday was light, with just a few smaller fires reported across the Great Basin. Over the last 7 days, however, with this push of monsoon moisture, significant amounts of precipitation across much of Nevada, into northern Utah and southern and eastern Idaho over into Wyoming. The only drier spots really were parts of central Idaho, where only very light amounts of precipitation, if any, were reported, although we did see some higher humidity, which did affect fire danger slightly. You can see the top right picture shows the ERCs. They did come down in Idaho, but still remained above normal in parts of central Idaho mountains, but you probably can't see they have ticked back upwards above the 90th percentile as the drier and warmer air has set in. However, 1,000-hour fuel moistures were not affected by this moisture at all and still remain at record lows for the time of year. 100-hour fuel moisture did respond, especially over the southern two-thirds of the Great Basin, but still remains in the 6th to 10th percentile over central and southwest Idaho into northwest Nevada, and will likely tick downwards over the next couple of days before moisture returns. The satellite loop from this morning shows the area of low pressure off the west coast, which will push that monsoon moisture to the north. However, on the western side of the basin, again, these storms will be a little bit faster moving, closer to that area of low pressure, so they will be a mix of wet and dry. Further south, that deeper moisture will really be in place over southern areas of the Great Basin. As we move into later this afternoon, again, you can see that moisture starts to push northward. So again, we will see better coverage of thunderstorms over western Nevada and over southern areas, and will be a mix of wet and dry over the western side of the Great Basin. However, fuels have not still recovered from the moisture we saw recently, so we really don't see a high threat of larger fires, but we will likely pick up some initial attack just with the lightning and the faster moving storms. Some of the drier pockets of northwest Nevada we still will have to keep an eye on for any fire spread. Just again, some areas did not receive certainly as much precipitation as others. And we do have, again, the heat concerns up in central Idaho, which will, again, push those fuels, that fire danger, higher over the next couple of days. Thunderstorms again today. We will see that focus over southern and western areas. Most thunderstorms will be producing some precipitation, but over parts of northwest Nevada, where coverage will be a little bit less and storms faster moving, these will be a mix of wet and dry. Wind gusts, generally lighter winds across the Great Basin. The only exception will be near thunderstorms, where we could see some pretty gusty outflow winds over western sides of the Great Basin. Relative humidity will only be elevated in areas we see storms in the south and west today. Otherwise, single digit to teens are expected with relative humidity further north into Idaho. By Tuesday, that moisture pushes north. We will see thunderstorms over much of Nevada and into southwest Utah and the Arizona Strip. Up in Idaho, we may only see a few isolated storms. Much of this moisture may be in the way of cloud cover on Tuesday, but we will certainly keep an eye on that, especially areas of the Payette and far western Idaho that could see faster moving storms. But right now, those on Tuesday look to stay to the west. So we still have our high risk for heat for the Salmon Chalice. However, the Payette may see a little bit more cloud cover, so that may drop temperatures just slightly, but still really warm conditions and low relative humidity. So again, on Tuesday, you can see that push of moisture over southern and western areas, so a better chance of wetting rains for western and northwest Nevada on Tuesday, which with, again, much of that lightning staying out of Idaho. Still, the chance for gusty outflow winds associated with these thunderstorms in Nevada. Relative humidity, again, will really be elevated across Nevada on Tuesday, but still remain low further north up into Idaho. By Wednesday is when we'll see this better push of moisture north up into Idaho. Right now, these storms still, again, look like a mix of wet and dry, but we will see certainly higher humidity and some showers in Idaho as well. So no high risk at this point for the lightning moving into Idaho, but it is something we will continue to keep an eye on. On Wednesday, the better chance for significant wetting rain still remains further south across Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. And again, a mix of wet and dry storms for Idaho. We will continue to watch this and see how much precipitation we're expecting really for the threat of high risk. Wind gusts, again, will remain generally light. We could see some breezier winds over parts of western Nevada as some drier air works into the Sierra Front and southwest Nevada. But again, we will have seen recent moisture. Relative humidity really increases across the Great Basin on Wednesday, especially up in Idaho. You can see relative humidity above 20 or 30% in many areas, so that will certainly help. We will see that drier air work into western and northwest Nevada with relative humidity dropping back down to below 15%. Still, again, a couple of days of heat today and tomorrow will be the hottest days across the Great Basin, especially in Idaho, where we will see valley highs above 100 degrees and mountain temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. 3-day amounts of precipitation, obviously the better chances of wetting rains being more widespread, will remain across Nevada, Utah, and the Arizona Strip. Eastern Utah still will be largely out of this moisture for the next few days, along with eastern Idaho and Wyoming. Again, those showers and thunderstorms will affect central and southwest Idaho, but again, will be pretty spotty. By Thursday, that moisture gets pushed over the eastern half of the Great Basin with some drier air possibly over western areas. Still no high risk, as any showers and thunderstorms will be in areas where fuels have not recovered from the last event. And then by Friday, yet another push of moisture, returning thunderstorms to central Idaho and even central and western Nevada. By Saturday, similar conditions, and by Sunday, again, that moisture remains in place. So we are looking for several days of scattered showers and thunderstorms, which will likely increase initial attack, but still the risk for large fires is low due to the amount of moisture. 7-day total precip, you can see good amounts of precipitation in most areas, still somewhat spotty over parts of southwest and central Idaho, and even over eastern Idaho and eastern Utah. The 8 to 14-day outlook from August 15th through the 21st shows a return to very warm conditions in the Pacific Northwest into the northern areas of the Great Basin, but that monsoon moisture still remains in place over much of the Great Basin. Again, still the only exceptions will be central Idaho, into parts of northwest Nevada, where again these areas will remain on the fringes of the deeper moisture. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.